Welcome students, let's continue physics chapter 2 10th standard ICSE energy sources and production of electricity. So we have different ways of producing electricity. So one way is by hydroelectricity. See, they construct a dam like this and they allow the water to flow like this. They will have a water turbine here which rotates and that produces electricity. So we'll get started with the chapter now. So we require energy in every activity of our life. For example, energy is required to cook food, to light homes, to run gadgets, to move vehicles, to run TV, cinema, radio, etc. We need energy for production in factories and also for crops in the field. To meet these requirements, the energy generally needed is in the form of heat and electricity. We need heat energy for cooking food, and this heat energy is obtained by burning the fuel such as coal, wood, kerosene or cooking gas, etc. We need electricity to run electric motors, fans, geysers, etc. And it is also obtained from coal or hydro energy or nuclear energy. Now we will try to understand the characteristics of a source of energy. See, from where are we getting the energy? What type of source it is? A source of energy should be such that it can provide an adequate amount of useful energy at a steady rate over a long period of time. It should be safe and convenient to use, economical and easy to store and transport. This should be the characteristics. So what are the characteristics? First, it should be steady, it should be useful, it should be over a long period of time, it should be safe, it should be convenient, it should be economical and easy to store and transport. And we can classify the energies. Okay, we have two groups. One is called the renewable, which is non-conventional source of energy, or non-renewable, which is conventional source of energy. So what is renewable energy? Renewable or non-conventional source of energy. A natural source provides us energy continuously, and that is called renewable or non-conventional source of energy. Like sun is the main source of energy for us on earth. The energy harnessed from natural sources like wind, flowing water, tides, oceans, waves, biogas, etc. These are all indirectly derived by the energy of sun. We can use these sources as long as the earth continues to receive heat and light energy from sun. Apart from these sources, geothermal energy and nuclear energy are other sources of energy which can provide us energy over a long period. These sources of energy can be used again and again and will never get exhausted. Now we will try to understand the main sources of renewable energy. The renewable energy are like sun, wind, flowing water, biomass, biofuels, tides, oceans, geothermal spots and nuclear fuel. So next is sun as source of energy. Sun is the main source of all types of energy. The energy obtained from the sun is called the solar energy. In the interior of the sun, nuclear fusion reaction takes place, due to which it radiates out energy continuously in all directions in space. Since sun is very far from earth, we receive very small fraction of the total solar energy. The solar energy that reaches earth is neither uniform nor same at all places. It changes daily even at one place. It also varies during a day. The average solar energy reaching the earth's surface per second on an area of 1 meter square is called solar constant. They can ask you, what is solar constant? So the solar constant is the average solar energy reaching the earth's surface per second on an area of 1 meter square is called solar constant, and it's estimated to be 1.4 kilowatt per meter square. The solar energy reaching earth is absorbed by land, plants and water bodies like rivers, lakes and oceans. The solar energy absorbed by the land, water cause winds, storms, rains, snowfalls and sea waves. The next is wind as source of energy. The large mass of moving air is called wind. Due to the motion, it has kinetic energy. The kinetic energy is called the wind energy. The kinetic energy which is possessed by the wind is called the wind energy. The flowing of water as a source of energy. The kinetic energy possessed by the flowing water is called hydro energy. Biomass as a source of energy. The waste and dead parts of a living being like plants, trees and animals is called biomass. They contain carbon compounds. The chemical energy stored in the biomass is called the bioenergy. Next is tides as the source of energy. The rise of ocean water near the coast is called high tide and the fall of ocean water is called low tide. This rise and fall of the tide waves occurs twice a day in ocean. The energy possessed by rising and falling of water in tides is called tidal energy. They can ask you, give recent question, why tidal energy, why it is not a major source of energy, why tidal energy cannot be made into a major source of energy? Because of two reasons. The rise and fall of a sea water during the tide is not enough to generate electricity on a large scale. Second, there are very few sites which are suitable for building a tidal dams. The next is ocean or source of energy. Like ocean as a source of energy, we have ocean thermal energy and oceanic waves energy. So next is nuclear fuel as a geothermal spots are also there. Like geothermal spots as source of energy. The heat energy possessed by such rocks inside the earth is called geothermal energy. And you can find them in Madhya Pradesh, USA, New Zealand, etc. Nuclear fuel as a source of energy. When a uranium nucleus is bombarded with a slow neutron, it splits into two nearly equal light nuclei and a large amount of energy is released. This phenomenon is called nuclear fission. Next is non-renewable or conventional source of energy. The source of energy which have accumulated in nature over a very long period and cannot be quickly replaced when exhausted and is called non-renewable or conventional source of energy. The example for this is coal, petroleum, natural gas, fossil fuels, etc. They are formed by the decomposition of the remains of plants and animals buried under the earth millions of years ago. Thus, the formation of fossil fuel have occurred over millions of years due to certain very slow changes under the specific circumstances. Since they are being used extensively, their known reserves would soon deplete and once exhausted, they cannot be regenerated. The common non-renewable sources are like coal, petroleum and natural gas. Coal is a non-renewable resource made up of complex compounds of carbon, nitrogen and oxygen along with some free carbon and compounds of nitrogen and sulfur. Petroleum is a dark colored viscous liquid also called crude oil. It is a non-renewable source of energy which is found under the earth. It is a complex mixture of hydrocarbons with water, salt, earth particles and other compounds of carbon, oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur. The process of separating useful components from crude petroleum is called refining. They can ask you what is refining. The process of separating useful components from crude oil or crude petroleum is called refining. And how is it done? It is done by fractional distillation. The process is called fractional distillation by which the refining is done. The petroleum gas or petroleum gas liquefied under pressure, that is LPG, is called liquid petroleum gas, which is used for cooking in all the houses. Natural gas is called CNG, compressed natural gas, which is used in automobile vehicles. Now we have a difference between renewable source and non-renewable source of energy. Renewable sources. These are sources from which energy can be obtained continuously over a long period of time. Non-renewable, these are the sources from which energy cannot be continuously obtained over a long period of time. Renewable, they are non-conventional sources. Non-renewable, they are conventional sources. Renewable, these are natural sources which will not get exhausted. Non-renewable, these are natural sources which will get exhausted with time. Non-renewable, these sources can be regenerated. Non-renewable, these sources cannot be generated. Examples of renewable like sunlight, water, flowing wind, etc. For non-renewable, coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc.